The train rolls on to Bristol this weekend for the 9th race of the NASCAR season. But guys, I'm pissed off right now. Not only did I just lose $20 on the lousy-ass St. Louis Cardinals, but it's also not throwback weekend anymore. Thanks to my boy Brian, though, I'm able to bring some killer throwback vibes with this awesome Davey Allison crew neck, but it's just not the same. But even if it feels like I'm 160 laps down and I just ran out of talent for the second time at Darlington, I still have to truck on because there's paint schemes to review. Let's go. Corey LaJoie's been wearing a hole in his couch for the past 5 weekends, while the truck he had an opportunity to go full-time in this year won the race at Martinsville. His ego was too big for the truck series, but he did run the Freedom 500 last weekend and came the closest to a win since 2016 in K&N. By the way, can we start getting the ball rolling on me potentially getting an invite for next year's Freedom 500? Please? 5. So the old Ross Chastain might kind of be back, but only in Xfinity? I guess it's hard to be the guy that rubs everyone the wrong way in the Cup Series when you run like shit every week. As far as this car goes, everybody told me it should be the paint scheme of the week. Here's my thing on flannels. I'm not the biggest flannel guy. I do own one flannel, but that's only because Emily's friend broke up with her boyfriend and I inherited his. And to be fair, it's a really good one and I wear the piss out of it, but it's not this color. I'm not a lumberjack. 8. For the past few years, the Snap-on cars have been pretty much complete utter dog shit. So it's nice to see him try something a little different. 9. It may be time to have a conversation. Is Ty Dillon officially the better Dillon brother? 8. Noah Gragson picked up a new sponsor for this weekend, and it's a pretty nice looking hot rod. Unfortunately for him, his team pulled off a William Byron level fumble and forgot to put their paint schemes on NASCAR.com, which will make him ineligible for Paint Scheme of the Week. 9. For being the best driver in the entire world, Kyle Larson does sometimes make it hard to glaze on. I told everybody at work that you were a lock to win at Darlington, and you go out and wreck it on lap 4. At least you only made that mistake once though, right? Yeah. Glaze on, 10. After 8 races, Brad Keselowski stands a stunning 31st in points. I could say it's bad luck. I could say he's washed. But I chalk it up as the Kroger curse. Brad, you are the one that brought these terrible white-hooded Kroger paint schemes to RFK, and you are now paying the price. As beautiful as the side of this race car is, and as hungry as it is making me, the white hood ruins it all. 0. I like to think I lit a little bit of a fire underneath the asses of Spire Motorsports. Ryan Sparks, the competition director, popped into my live the other day, and we talked about how terrible the Spire paint schemes are. Now all of a sudden, 6 days later, we have a car that isn't completely abysmal? Coincidence? I think not. Ryan, we got to get me up to the Spire Motorsports shop to make some content. 8. Completely unrelated to Cheddar's, but do the Zone nicotine pouches make anybody else immediately have to go take a shit? I popped one for funsies the other night, and you would have thought that I drank a thing of laxatives. 8. I'm sure it comes as a shock to absolutely nobody that the guy that puts his bread in the microwave to make toast doesn't like the throwback weekend. This guy can't even properly open a bottle of Coca-Cola, but thinks we give a flying fuck about his opinion on throwback weekend. Chase, just because you had one of the worst throwback paint schemes in the history of NASCAR doesn't mean that it's run its course. Believe it or not, the world doesn't revolve around you, Chase Elliott. Maybe it's for the fans. You know, the same fans that for whatever fucking reason vote you as most popular driver every single year. I'm fully convinced that this guy could throw his non-existent girlfriend into the woods like Brian Laundrie and you guys would still vote him as your favorite driver. Wake up. This guy is a douchebag. 0. Shout out Ty Dillon for quietly having a pretty solid year so far. I may give this guy a lot of shit, but you know what? He's running better than Daniel Hemroyd. 9. I'm honestly still not sure how Denny Hamlin won this race. It felt like 1 second I was standing in a Marshall's watching William Byron absolutely dominate the race. I blinked my eyes, and suddenly I'm at a toaster oven pool party with every Ryan Blaney fan on planet Earth. And the worst part is, he's probably about to go back to back to back. 9. If there is one person in the entire galaxy that should not be stepping foot into a casino right now, it's Ryan Blaney. If this guy has any luck, it's bad. I really hope his wife's driving him around everywhere because I'm not sure it's safe for him to be behind the wheel of a regular car right now. It might blow up. It'll turn around eventually, or it won't. 8. You want to talk about another guy that's quietly having a really good season right now? That's AJ Allmendinger. I'm not sure if he has the testicular fortitude to be sponsored by Grizzly, but I'm here for it. It looks good. This car should at least be able to turn 10 preteens into future nicotine addicts. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for, right? 10. Mr. Busher. We are knocking on heaven's door right now with some solid finishes for Mr. Busher. That first win of 2025 is right around the corner. And if there's one thing I like in life, that's submarines on a race car. 10. Unfortunately, I think I've hit the point in the season where I've already run out of things to say about Chase Briscoe. And I can't congratulate him on having sex because I don't think his wife is pregnant again. So, keep practicing, I guess. 10. How lucky are we to be graced with the worst paint scheme in the history of NASCAR yet again? A lot of you have tagged me in that video from Joe Gibbs about them looking for a content creator. Fun fact, I actually went to apply, didn't see a listing anywhere on the website. I was actually kind of hoping to get my foot in the door, so maybe down the road I could convince them to make this car not look like the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life, but we move on. If there are any teams, owners, or drivers out there looking to hire an average Joe Blow like myself, my DMs are open. 0. Joshy. Poor Joshy's been screwed out of a couple good finishes the last 2 weeks. I also got quite a bit of shit for dragging his throwback paint scheme last week. Here's the thing, guys. That car last weekend was beautiful. I understand it was a throwback to the Wood Brothers. But it was also a throwback to an Indy car, not a NASCAR. 8. 6. Poor Bubba was the victim of whatever the fuck Kyle Larson was doing on Sunday. I still really don't understand what everyone was crying about. What would Bubba or 2311 as a whole be gaining by him purposely wrecking Kyle Larson? I think most of you just love to hate this guy for absolutely no reason. This car looks like it came off the Death Star. 9. In the most William Byron fashion, he somehow managed to fumble that race away after leading the first 243 laps. But I gotta be honest, I was actually kind of pissed off for the guy. Because even as boring as it was to watch him lead those first 243 laps, by that point, I was rooting for him to just complete the whole deal. The fact that he led all those laps just to lose the lead somehow on pit road and finish second is infuriating to me. Because I feel like I wasted a couple hours of my life watching this guy kick everybody's ass just for him to finish second. So Rudy Fugle, you actually fumbled the bag. But Byron, fuck you for not wanting throwback weekend. Pretty much every paint scheme you run on a weekly basis is in some way or fashion a throwback to Jeff Gordon. So your opinion doesn't matter. 10. Jesse loves making his Cup Series debut, and I know you guys are all waiting for me to absolutely glaze the C4 Ultimate Energy car. But there's one problem. C4 Energy has yet to approve my shipment for this month. So right now, I really don't know where we stand. But this car does fuck. Too bad Jesse can't just run his Xfinity car for the Cup race because this is probably going to run like a boat. 10. For whatever reason, Front Row Motorsports decided that it was unimportant to post Todd Gilliland's paint scheme literally anywhere. So he gets an automatic 0. As far as this car goes, this is your weekly reminder that Riley Herbst still exists. 8. More bad news for Front Row because, yeah, they brought the Aaron's Dream Machine back and it looks beautiful. But again, they didn't put it on NASCAR.com. So although I'm going to put a large amount of U.S. currency on Zane Smith to get a top 10 in this beauty, it's ineligible for Paint Scheme of the Week. 10. Hey Cole, thanks for giving me an Andy's frozen custard addiction. I really appreciate it. But my weight doesn't. 10. A lot of funny stuff going on over at Legacy Motor Club right now. They're going to lose a big-time sponsor in Family Dollar, yet they're going to spend $45 million on a charter from Rick Ware, all while both cars are running like a 4-cylinder Cavalier out at New Smyrna Speedway. Which begs the question, if Jimmy Johnson has $45 million worth of spare change in his couch cushions, first of all, why doesn't he give me some? And second of all, why not put that into the 2 cars you already have and not getting a third one to also run like shit? Or just use that money to bring me to more races. 5. The Advent Health car is always going to fuck though. 10. I think they let Ryan Blaney drive down my street because all I can hear is sirens right now. Hope he's alright. This just reminded me that they killed the Nasty Beast schemes. 6. Oh yeah, Ricky Stenhouse is still in the Cup Series. 9. Eli. 8. As a big fan of the Baldwin family, I really hope Rick Ware doesn't sell his charter to Legacy Motor Club because I know they're not smart enough to keep Tommy Baldwin on board. But $45 million would pay for a lot of domestic violence lawyers, so I could understand it. 8. Don't let his first top 10 of the season distract you from the fact that Ty Gibbs is never going to win a race. 6. It's amazing to me how Kroger could simultaneously bring one of the shittiest paint schemes of the weekend to Bristol and also one of the best. I'm not a female. I don't have breasts. Well, I kind of do. This car also has nothing to do with breast cancer awareness at all, but it makes me want to go get a boob exam. Be safe out there, ladies. 10. From breast cancer awareness, straight to testicular cancer awareness. I don't have to worry about that, though. Emily already cut them off and put them in her purse. 9. Well, Ryan, at least we'll always remember Justin Haley's Nation Guard car because this sucks. 1. At least we finally got Carson in the Ride the Dente. Although, to be honest, for this being a Chili's car, it leaves a lot to be desired. Also, Carson, I'm waiting on a ride in that new truck of yours. Let's try to turn the luck around this weekend. 7. Trackhouse didn't think I was going to notice, but look how far back they're moving that number. Sorry, guys. That just doesn't look good. 3. Crocodile. 8. And the paint scheme of the week goes to AJ Allmendinger. This was a really tough one because I was going back and forth between this and the Priest car. What lost it for me on the Priest car was the little writing on the quarter panel. If it was bigger, I think they would have won. But if the Aaron's Dream Machine was on NASCAR.com, that would have easily been the winner. Here's your current paint scheme review point standings. I'll see you tomorrow for Xfinity, and I'll see you for the Cup Series in 2 weeks for the 10th race of the season at Talladega. Later.